My name is C. Thomas, Associate Professor at Department of Automobile Engineering, Bharat Institute of Science and Higher Education and Research. I'm going to take organization behavior. So, Unit 4, Leadership. Unit 4, Leadership. Approaches of, next we pass on to approaches of OB, organization behavior. Contextual the perspective of OB is based on constructive theory of teaching and learning. The understanding of OB is very complex. It studies organizations from multiple viewpoints and levels. Perspectives are basic approaches to organization behavior are basically categorized on 5 approaches. Approaches of organizations. Leadership quality is separate. Then we come up for approaches of organization behavior. The following are the 5 base approaches of organization is human resource approach, productivity approach, interactionism approach, contingency approach, system approach. First one is human resource approach. Right, following base approaches of organization behavior, right? Then productivity approach. It is an human resource approach. Right? There is an human resources. Productivity should be high always. Interaction between departments. Contingency approach. Next one is a system approach. First one, these approaches of organization behavior. First one is an human resource approach. Human resource approach is concerned with the growth and development of people towards higher levels of competency, creativity, and fulfillment. The human resource approach is concerned with the growth and development of people towards higher levels of competencies, creativity, and fulfillment. It is also known as supportive approach. The manager's role changes from control of employees to active support of their growth and performance. The manager's role changes from control of employees to active support of their growth and performance. The superiors and managers should practice a style where workers are given the opportunities and encouragement to perform. The manager's role changes from control of employees to active support of their growth and performance. Next point, the superiors and managers should practice a style where workers are given the opportunities and encouragement to perform. In this approach, the role of managers changes from structuring and controlling to supporting. In this approach, the role of managers changes from structuring and controlling to supporting. This comes under human resource approach. Next, we pass on to productivity approach. Productivity, right? What do you understand productivity? How do you understand output by input? How there is an output by input? Let us take a simple production system. Inputs we are giving. Processing stage is the center. Outcome is an end stage outcome. Output by input is productivity. We define productivity as output by input. Simple for manufacturing system I am telling. This and manpower first inputs. machine power, money, methods, materials, like that. As right, we are giving inputs. Next stage is processing stage. Okay, so we are converting processing. Then, so there is finished goods systems. That is outcomes. That is correct. So productivity is nothing but output by input. So like that, we are going to approach productivity approach. Okay, so productivity is numerical value of the ratio of output to input of an organization effectiveness. It also reveals managers' efficiency in optimizing resource utilization. So productivity generally measured in terms of economic inputs and outputs. But human and social inputs and outputs are important. Okay, so better organization behavior can improve job satisfaction. Okay, it also helps to increase the organizational productivity. Okay, so better organization behavior can improve job satisfaction. Okay, it also helps to increase the organizational productivity. Next one, interaction. There is an interactionism approach. One-to-one interaction. This approach focuses on social interaction in specific situations. This approach focuses on social interaction in specific situations. It attempts to explain how people select, interpret, and change various situations. It also highlights on how status affects both individual and organizational behavior. This approach is based on cause and effect relationship. Okay, next point, it suggests that job changes help employees to improve their attitudes, whereas attitude influence how people pursue their jobs. Okay, this approach is slow and steady motion, but gives more promising ideas for future development. Okay, it suggests that job changes help employees to improve their attitudes, whereas attitudes influence how people pursue their jobs. Okay, this comes under interactionism approach. Next one, contingency approach. So we say that contingency approach. This approach is based on the principle that methods or behaviors which work effectively in one situation fail in another. This approach is based on the principle that methods or behaviors, okay, which work effectively in one situation fail in another. Results differ because situation differ. Okay, results differ because so this is situation differ. There is an situation differ. Hence, the manager's task is to identify which method will, okay, in a particular time, the best contribute to the attainment of organization goals. Let us see that manager's task. Okay, so manager is going to finish it up his task daily. Okay, he's going to reach his goal. Okay, so this goal means best contribute to the attainment of organization goals. Okay, next point, right? The strength of the contingency approach lies the fact it encourages analysis of each situation before taking any action, while at the same time discourages our habitual practice of universal assumptions about method and people. The strength of contingency approach lies in the fact it encourages analysis of each situation before taking any action, while at the same time so discourages the habitual practice of universal assumptions about method and people. This approach is also more interdisciplinary, more system-oriented, and more research-oriented than any other approach. Okay, so this comes under contingency approach. Next one, system approach. Final one is a quick for. So this approach to organization behavior views the organization as a united, purposeful system composed of interrelated parts. This approach to organization behavior views the organization as a united, purposeful system composed of interrelated parts. It compels managers to take a holistic view of the subject that interprets of the whole person, whole group, whole organization, and whole social systems. It compels managers to take a holistic view of the subject that interprets of the whole person, whole group, whole organization, and whole social system. The system approach universally based on the principle of inputs, process, outputs, productive methods. This approach is a concept which views a company as an interconnected purposive system that consists of several business sections. This approach tells us that the activity of every other segment considerable. Okay, this approach tells us that the activity of every other segment considerable. Okay, this is comes under system approach. Next, we go for design laboratory training. Design training, laboratory training, known as T groups, and defined as a small and structured group in which participants learn from their own interactions and evolving dynamics about issues like interpersonal relations, personal growth, leadership, and group dynamics. Okay, so these and so evolving their own interactions, the participants learn from their own interactions and evolving dynamics about issues like interpersonal relations, personal growth, leadership, and group dynamics. Next point began with Levin and Association in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, studying community interactions of American Jews. Okay. Next point, the results showed the following. One, the feedback from group interactions was rich learning experience. Sure, is that right? The group interactions, right? That is an who is right. One person says this one angle of view, other person's right what he is thinking to reply. So the interactions, group interactions was rich learning experience. We are going to share knowledge. Okay, so this and expertise, that way in which we are absorbed. Okay, so next one, the process of group building had potential for learning that could be transferred to back home situations. The process of group building had potential for learning that could be transferred to back home situations. So whereas in laboratory training background, so laboratory training began in 1946 when Kurt Lewin was asked for help in research on training community leaders. A workshop was developed and the community leaders were brought together. At the end of each session, the researchers discussed the behaviors they had observed. Thus, the first T group was formed in which people reacted to data about their own behavior. Okay, so laboratory training background, as the first T group was formed in which people related to data about their own behavior. This comes under laboratory training background. Next one, I started leadership. Okay, initially, what is leadership? So, Izan, we wanted to increase our leadership quality, then only right to become a leader. Otherwise, you won't shine in the public. You won't become a leader. So, what is leadership? According to Peter Drucker, the only definition of leader is someone who has followers. This definition by Peter Drucker. The only definition of a leader is someone who has followers. There is an next one. Next author says Bill Gates. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. Bill Gates says, as we look ahead into the next century, the leaders will be those who empower others. Okay, according to Peter Drucker, we defined leadership. According to Bill Gates, okay, we defined leadership quality. Leadership. So, definition. Leadership is a process of social influence which maximizing the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. This is a very nice definition. So, leadership is a process of social influence which maximize the efforts of others, okay, towards the achievement of a goal. Some leaders write, we know, okay, some of the leaders in the world. Okay, let's write one by one. You can see, you know who is Adolf Hitler. Who is Adolf Hitler? He is an autocratic leadership. It is a classical leadership style. Managers retain as much power and decision-making authority as possible. No involvement of staff. The classical leadership style, managers retains as much power and decision-making authority as possible. No involvement of staff. Example, Adolf Hitler. Next one, democratic leadership. This democratic leadership, also known as participative style. Sharing of decision-making abilities and ideas. encourages staff to be a part of the decision making. Okay, what actually also known as participative style, sharing of decision making abilities and ideas, encourages the staff to be a part of the decision making. Example, Carlos Chosan, currently the chairman and CEO of Paris-based Renault, chairman and CEO of Japan-based Nissan, and chairman of Russian this automobile manufacturers AVPO BOSS. And third category is supportive leadership. Supportive leadership means a path goal theory. So cohesion among members. So attempts to reduce employee stress and frustration in the workplace. Example, Steve Jobs. Right? How do you understand this and supportive leadership? A path goal theory. Is a path goal theory. Okay. So cohesion among members. So another point, attempts to reduce employee stress and frustration in the workplace. Example, Steve Jobs, supporting leadership. Fourth category is considered achievement leadership. Fourth category. Okay, a management strategy that puts high goals and training to get the needed improvement in performance levels. Okay, a management strategy that puts high goals and training to get the needed improvement in performance levels. High performance is expected and a high level of confidence in the employee's ability to achieve the goals. So the leadership quality I have to maintain. Okay. Example, Abdul Kalam. Okay. It's a fire. Okay. So a management strategy, achievement leadership. Example is Abdul Kalam. Dr. Abdul Kalam, Honorable President of India. Ex-President of India. A management strategy that puts high goals and training to get the needed improvement in performance levels. High performance is expected. A high level of confidence in the employee's ability to achieve the goals. Okay, this comes under leadership quality. That is an achievement leadership quality. Next one, and fifth category, lies fair leadership, known as answer style. Okay, the manager provides little or no direction and gives staff freedom as much as possible. Okay, highly experienced and trained employees requiring little supervision fall under the laissez-faire leadership style. Laissez-faire leadership style. Example, Warren Buffett. You know that Warren Buffett comes under laissez-faire leadership style, known as hands-off style. Okay. So what actually the leadership quality should? The manager provide little or no direction and gives staff freedom as much as possible. And highly experienced and trained employees requiring little supervision fall under the as leadership style. Yeah. So highly experienced means is expertise in this work. Okay, so the good example for leadership inspires leadership quality is Warren Buffett. Okay. So next one, we pass on to online leadership. Lack of face-to-face contact. Yeah, it's online, right? Lack of face-to-face contact, right? The structure and tone of message. So writing skills become an extension of interpersonal skills. So building trust and understanding is greatest challenge. Okay. So next one, this one is a lack of face-to-face contact. The structure and tone of tone of message. Writing skills become an extension of interpersonal skills. Building trust and understanding is greatest challenge. Next, we pass on to interdisciplinary approach. Interdisciplinary approach. The field of OB is heavily influenced by several other behavioral sciences and social sciences. The field of OB is heavily influenced by several other behavioral sciences and social sciences. Some popular disciplines are psychology, sociology, anthropology. Some popular disciplines are psychology, sociology, and anthropology. Next, we pass on to analysis of behavior. Okay, OB involves 3 levels of behavior. Okay, individual, group, and organization behavior. Okay, what is individual behavior, group behavior, and organization behavior? Okay, involves. Okay, individual behavior. All right. Let's go and assign this individual names. All right. I have to analyze what type of adjectives you choose to work this to. All right. How he is going to perform. Okay. How he is going to behave. There is an individual, right? This is very important one. As right, you can group manner also, right? In group, what is a group response? How they are going to perform? How they are going to behave? In which attitude they are going to use? Right, like that, right? So I have to watch. And organization behavior is right design. This one of the right way, right, to analyze. Next one, it helps in demolishing incorrect assumptions one may hold about behavior. It helps in demolishing incorrect assumptions one may hold about behavior. Next one is an goal oriented. Goal. Our aim is to reach our goals daily, right? So based on mission and based on mission. Okay. This right. Suppose you didn't complete right till right after this everything. There is an objectives to be fulfilled. Right. Objectives is over. Right. So OB is an action-oriented and goal-oriented discipline. The major goals of OB are understand, explain, predict human behavior in the organizational context. Okay. So the major goals of OB are understand, so explain, predict. First, we can understand any problem, then explain. So once explain this and explanation is over, then you can predict it. Okay. So next one, authority. Who is having authority? Who is having responsibility? Authority and responsibility differs. Okay, it's not same. Okay, it is a formal right given to a manager to command or give orders to perform a certain task. Authority is given to a manager to achieve the objectives of the organization. It is a right to get things done through others. It is a right to take decisions. A manager cannot do his work without authority. A manager gets his authority from his position or post. He gets his authority from the higher authorities. So lower and middle level managers get their authority from the top level managers. The top level managers get their authority from the shareholders. Okay, this is a right authority, right widespread from top to bottom. Okay, methods, right? So authority always flows downwards. It is delegated from top to bottom. Top to the bottom. Okay. So authority, right? No, right? Clearly can understand. Power. Who is having power? Who is not having power? Like that. Some basically, right? Some will arise. Okay. It is a broader concept than authority. Power is the ability or potential of person to influence another person or a group to perform an act. Power can be a personal power. A person gets his personal power from his personality or from his expert knowledge. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, programmers, etc. Okay, get their power from their expertise and professional knowledge. Okay, understand? That is how is having power. Power can be a personal power. The person gets his personal power from his personality or from his expert knowledge. Doctors having, lawyers, engineers, programmers, etc. get their power from their expertise and professional knowledge. Power can also be legitimate or official power. This power comes from a higher authority. Authority is the right to give orders and power to get obedience. Okay, authority is a right to give order. Authority, order, right? By order. Like that, some notice were issued. Okay, so the authority is a right to give orders and power to get obedience. Difference between authority and power. In management, authority differs from power in the following ways. Nature. Authority is an formal right given to a manager to make decisions or to command. This power is a personal ability to influence others or events. Flow. Authority flows downwards in the organization. This is because it is delegated by the superiors to the subordinates. Power can flow in any direction. Even subordinates have power over their superiors if they can influence their behavior. So power can flow upwards, downwards, or ascending. Organization charts. The authority relationships, superior, subordinate relationships, can be shown in the organization charts. The power relationships cannot be shown in organization charts. Next one, a level of management. Okay, the authority depends on the level of management. Higher the level of management, higher will be the authority and vice versa. Power does not depend on the level of management. Power can exist at any level of management. Even a lower level manager or a worker can have power to influence the behavior of top level manager. So legitimacy, authority is always official in nature. So it is legitimate. The power need not be official in nature. So it need not be legitimate. Position and person. Okay, authority is given to a position or post. The manager gets authority only when he holds that position. Power resides lies in the person who uses it. Okay, this we can understand power and authority. Okay, so far we observed. Okay, who is having power, who is having authority very clearly. Okay, I'm happy. Okay, thank you.